So to start, we're just gonna jump right into it. We got no time, we got a lot of steps to go, and we are gonna get cooking. So today we are making the fried chicken katsu sandwich with the homemade Japanese milk bread buns, as well as the spicy mayo. And then we're gonna have homemade french fries, and then on the side we will have a cabbage slaw. So starting off with these buns, we're gonna wanna get them started immediately, as soon as possible, because of how long it takes to cook. So we're starting off with a 4th cup of milk. We got 1 tablespoon of yeast, a cup and a fourth of bread flour, 1/2 teaspoon of fine salt, 1 1/4 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 egg and 1 whole egg yolk. And then after that, we got a 1.5 tablespoons of unsalted butter that's softened and cut up. Also, we have an ingredient called the tangzong, which is going to be a tablespoon of bread flour, 1 tablespoon of water, and 2 tablespoons of milk. And we're going to mix that up in a pot pre-hand, cook it until it gets thick, and then we're going to throw that into the dough. We're going to put it into the oven with the light on and a pot of boiling water right next to it, because I'm too broke to afford a proofer. And so for my french fries, I like skin on personally, but if you'd like to, you could take the skin off by peeling. And originally I thought I was going to use my mandolin, but I didn't because it doesn't go deep enough. And also, I'm hand cutting these french fries because I'm too broke to afford a mandolin that has a french fry setting. But starting off, we're just going to cut all of our french fries as even as possible and then get it into the bowl of water so that it doesn't oxidize and change color on us. So because we are making chicken katsu, the first step for this one is going to be pounding the chicken thigh. I chose chicken thigh because chicken thigh is much easier to not mess up, and it stays juicy as well as tender. And so for the first step for this one, we're going to pound it on both sides until it's not paper thin, but thin enough that it's even and that it'll fry up quick. Move on to seasoning our chicken and letting it air dry in the fridge, so that this way it can have all the seasonings penetrate and get deep into the actual meat. Make sure you flip it on both sides and have both sides seasoned as well. Now while this is in the fridge, letting all those spices and seasonings sink into the chicken, we're going to go back to our bread. We're going to take it out real quick, do the first punch, put it back in the oven, let it proof again. In the meantime, while our bread is on its second proof, we're going to start on the mayonnaise. So for the homemade mayonnaise, we're going to use 1 egg yolk, 1/2 teaspoon of mustard powder, 1/2 teaspoon of white vinegar, and then we're going to use a little bit of lemon juice to taste. And so the rule of thumb that we've been following is I use 1 egg yolk that can hold up to 8 ounces of oil. So this process is very long and tedious. You just keep mixing. Probably would have been smarter for me to have used a hand blender. So you're gonna notice that the mayo is gonna be thick. It's gonna look slightly yellow if you're just using the egg yolk. And if you want to make it more white, you can add a little bit of water at a time, and you'll see the color change immediately. Now, once you have your mayo made, we're gonna start by making it the spicy mayonnaise. So for this spicy mayo, I'm going to be using cayenne pepper, onion powder, smoked paprika, sea salt, white vinegar, a little bit of Crystal's hot sauce in there as well. So finally, after all this work, we're going to start on the first step of the deep frying process. I don't have a deep fryer, but we're going to use a cast iron skillet, and we're going to fill it just a little bit over half. I think I honestly filled it almost a little too high, but I made sure not to overcrowd the pan. But in the meantime, we're going to let it heat on medium temp, and we're going to do what else we got to do. We're going to move on to the bread right now. Finally, after the second proof, we're going to take it out, and then we're going to cut it into 4 different pieces. I'm looking for about 100 grams per each bun, and you want to make sure that you weigh out each one, just because you need consistency and you want each bun to be around the same size. I'm going to round it into a bun, and then after that, I'm going to So finally, I'm going to put that on a lined parchment sheet paper, and then I'm going to put over another sheet pan and let it do its thing, let it rise for the 3rd time. So once the bun's approved, we're going to add an egg wash to make it golden brown, and we're going to throw it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 to 15 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna check up on our oil. We're at 235, that's not hot enough yet. We're trying to get 300. So in the meantime, we're gonna get all of our spices and seasonings for our seasoned flour. Once we've hit the 300 mark, we're gonna toss in our french fries for the first fry. This is a low temp fry at 300 because we wanna fry the french fries inside first and cook them. Right after our french fries have finished the first fry, it's perfect timing because we got our buns nice and golden brown. We're gonna take them out and we're gonna quickly brush them with butter, and then we're gonna let them chill on the side. So while our buns are resting, this gives us the perfect time to begin our spreading process for the chicken katsu. So we got our seasoned flour, we have 1 egg, I ended up adding 1 more egg, and then we have a little bit of panko breadcrumb, which we're using. After this, we're gonna let our frying oil get to 350, which is our ideal temp for frying. We're gonna throw the french fries back in until it's golden brown, take it out the fryer, season immediately, and toss. Now, from the book, there are only 2 steps in deep frying. Heat the cooking fat, which in our case is vegetable oil, and the second step is to fry the food until it is fully cooked. What separates deep frying from pan frying is that in deep frying, the foods are cooked in enough fat or oil to completely submerge them. So now we're going to take our chicken katsu and we're going to deep fry it until the outside is golden brown and the inside has at least hit an internal temperature of 165 or higher.
Yeah.
Now that we've temped our chicken, it's time to finally assemble. Now for this step, we're going to add butter to the buns, and then we're going to put it on a hot surface, and we're going to let that heat until the surface looks nice and golden. We're going to assemble this first by adding our spicy mayo that we made earlier. We're going to add 2 pickles, and we're going to add the deep fried chicken katsu on top. After this, we're going to crown it with the bread, and we're going to add another pickle on top with a toothpick. Onto a plate, we're going to add our sandwich with the french fries, and then after that, we're going to add the coleslaw, and we have our finished product. One of my biggest inspirations for this sandwich really came from the Popeyes spicy fried chicken sandwich, but I wanted to do katsu to add an Asian element. And overall, I would say one of my biggest inspirations in the cooking world has been Andrew Zimmern, who is known for his show Bizarre Foods. Over the years, he has gone and traveled to many different countries, trying all different types of foods, and ultimately just learning about the culture. And I really love that aspect because he isn't afraid to say that he dislikes something until he's at least tried it twice.